Welcome back, everyone, to episode 22 of Wickscraft. As you can see, I've got my little buddy here, and other than him being pretty cute, the main reason I got this guy is to help me out with something that I've been meaning to get to for a little while, and that is texturing the side of the library right here. So honestly, like, I don't know if there's a whole lot of uses for these guys because they're very slow, and you know, you can make games out of them and stuff, which is kind of cool, but I think the best use for them is things like building on sides of large buildings, like texturing specifically in this case, where we've sort of just put in sandstone to start, and so I need to get to like the side of the building to be able to texture some of this stuff. And so what I can do is just kind of fly around to wherever I want and, you know, start breaking things and replacing blocks, and I think that's a lot easier than like scaffolding up and breaking it down and then moving around and having to go up and down. The only issue is going up and down to get different items and stuff. That would be my one, you know, quarrel with this strategy, is that, you know, I think it would be really cool if there was some kind of storage on these things. But other than that, I mean, honestly, it's a lot better than what we used to do before, which I would have been like climbing all over these windows and stuff, trying to get things working, and it just wouldn't have happened. So, oh! Also, there's that problem where if you push shift on accident, you just fall, so. And they're a little bit squirrely, like if you fall off, they kind of float away, and so you kind of have to go like chase after them. It's okay though, I mean, honestly, still, I think worth it in this case, and better than what we were doing before. Anyway, so I've been doing a little bit of work over here in the shopping district, trying to get this thing ready to go, because if you remember a couple episodes ago we had that meeting. We're trying to make the shopping district a little bit more useful, really. We've got all these little projects going on around the server, and we want to be able to come here and get the items that we need. And right now there's a few really good ones. I mean, we got wood, and we built this shop last episode, which we might get back to again today. We got things like, you know, prismarine and moss and mob stuff and iron and farming, and, you know, like some of the main, you know, really good things. But we're gonna want to try to expand this place a little bit. We got glass over there as well. This is actually a sugarcane shop that somebody started, but haven't seen much movement on that in a while. We're gonna start to get things spiffied up in here. So I'm gonna start with the library. We might be changing up this little facade right here at some point, but right now I am just working on texturing, making things look a little bit better as far as the block palette goes, and I think that's helping out a little bit with this visual. We're gonna have to do a little bit of work. We might add some things to the sides and the corners of this. We're still kind of talking through it. But right now what I want to do is actually head back over to Journey, and we're gonna do a little bit more work over there, specifically putting in some of the infrastructure that's really gonna make the game special. Stay. He might stay. Oh, we got this guy now, so he's gonna be able to help us out with some of these little things, like you know, the wall and the you know, if we have to build trees and stuff, which is coming up pretty soon with Journey as well. So problem with the trees is if you got to get in like really tight little spaces, that could be, bro. I think he'll probably stick around. Yeah, as long as he doesn't like chase after me when I go that way and just like end up at like between here and Journey. If he does, I'll just get another one. It's fine. Okay, so here we are back over at Journey, and this is gonna be my next task. Okay, we need to fill out this side of the circle. Okay, so we've got the bank over here, we've got some apartments, the tutorial building, a little shop right here, but this block is actually gonna be very important for the players. We're gonna have a little bit more housing for them so that they can store their items if they want to in here. We're also going to have a couple of other things in here, which we'll get to after I build them. But basically, these are going to be very important buildings, and we need to get this side of the circle complete before we can open up level 1. So that's what we're going to do today. I do want to mention there are 2 other segments on the other side here, and I do have plans for those. But those are going to be a little bit later game things where people get a little bit more advanced. They're going to be able to unlock a couple of the buildings that are going to be going over here. But that's not going to be for a few levels. And so we've got some time over here. I'm not gonna rush to get this done. I want to get people playing this game, so we're gonna try to open up everything on this side and then be able to get people in and start playing. So that is the plan, and I gotta be honest, guys, it's been a little while since we did a time lapse, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to time lapse this block right here. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will be right back, and we will talk about what these buildings are and what they're for. Cheers. And just like that, block 2 is done. So let's go check it out. Something to know about all of these builds in this block are they are original. I didn't base them off of anything. Obviously, that one's a little different. I came up with all these different buildings myself, so you can judge me all you want. So actually, it looks like we're more like 4/7 of the way done with this circle here. And that is exactly 57.14% of the way through. You know what? Let's go back down. We'll say it's about 50 because I got like this little corner right here that I think I'm gonna put something here. We can say that's about 7%. Anyways, we're making progress here, okay? And I'm gonna go through each of these buildings. We'll take a little look at what each of them are. But honestly, I think they all turned out pretty good. So when you first walk out here, obviously we've got on our right, we've got the tutorial building, we've got those apartments, and then this shop right here, which is actually linked to the stables, which are right here, obviously. Hopefully, that's obvious. And so the idea with the stables, you can see I've got a few horses in here already. I'm gonna keep kind of working on filling these up with some different horses and stuff. But the idea is that you'll go into this shop over here and you're gonna be able to buy a little pass for a horse. And I'm thinking about the best way to do this, but I'm kind of toying with a couple different options. First option being that you would buy a pass in the shop and then you would bring it over, and that would be like a one-time use, basically. So you put the pass in, you get the horse, you can go out, play the game, whatever, and then you bring it back when you're done. And the next time you play the game, you'd have to come grab another pass and buy another horse and do it that way. This would be good in some ways and bad in some ways. I think the good thing would be that it would be less to keep track of for the player. A bad thing would be for them, obviously, that they would have to buy it every time. That's not really ideal as far as like if you're, only playing for a little bit at a time, you might not want to be doing that. Another option I've been thinking about is what if the players got a pass and they buy it one time from the shop, and then they can use it an infinite amount of times, but we segment the different stalls into different tiers. For example, 2 or 3 different horses in each stall, but they would have similar attributes. So the player could grab, let's say, a pass for this stall right here, and that means they can use any of the horses in that stall at any time. And some of them are going to be like faster, some of them are going to be able to jump higher, and those could be useful for different things throughout the different levels. Obviously not really on level 1, other than the fact that players are going to need to get around a little bit quicker, because getting here and then getting all the way over there is kind of a long walk and all that stuff. In that way they hold on to their passes, but there's still a little aspect of you might want to buy different passes for different stalls at different times. One of the bad things is if we go up on the backside here, this is where I'm going to have all the players return their horses when they're done playing. And so obviously every time they leave the game, they're going to have to come bring their horse back, which is a little bit of a pain, but it's actually pretty easy. They just drop them in here and then walk out, and that's pretty much it. But I would have to make sure that the horses would end up in the right stall, that they're being returned to the correct stall when they come back. That way the next player that comes along is going to be, given the correct horse when they go in and grab the stall. There's a couple different ways I thought about maybe doing that. One of them being like naming the horses and then having their names on these stalls right here. One of them could be putting the attributes on there or something like that, so that players know when they bring their horse back, this is exactly where it goes. You need to match the name to the horse. I think that's pretty easy, so I think that's doable. The last thing I thought of was a combination of the two. So like if you want to just rent a horse basically for a little bit cheaper, you just grab a pass that is a one-time use. And then we would also have like another place so you can put your pass if it's a full-time pass for that stall. And that's not a bad idea. I don't hate that one. It's okay. But yeah, that's the idea with the stalls. Pretty simple. It's more of a game mechanic than anything, hoping to let players get around a little bit quicker, and I want to make it as simple and easy as possible, so I will work on that as well. Okay, well, running around to the left side here, you probably notice in the background this monstrosity of a building. I don't know. I just got inspired. Okay. I think I saw some sort of aquatic animal, probably one of those ones in the bottom of the ocean, with the little light on their head. And I thought to myself, I'm going to build that in Minecraft. And I put it on this little, this little diagonal right here. I don't know. This was actually kind of a challenging build. I built this, honestly, a couple years ago. As I've said, I've had most of this planned out for a little while. But I actually like it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool little building here. It's got an interesting shape. It's a little different. It kind of sticks out. It's a little like rustic, kind of. Probably because the whole thing's made out of copper. But I think it turned out pretty good. I just basically did the copper gradient from orange to green or blue or whatever you want to call that. I guess it goes all the way up to blue because we got some warped wood up there. And I'm pretty happy with it. I added some kind of random decorations to make it a little bit more messy, a little bit more kind of worn down, rustic. We've got some chains coming off the edge. We've got a couple windows and stuff throughout. You know, it stands out. It's kind of cool. It's like, hey, come check me out. I'm this cool building. And I kind of wanted to have something like that right here because this is going to be where players can buy perks and different upgrades and things like that. So for example, things like potions, if they want like jump boost or speed or something like that to help them get through one of the challenges. Or another thing could be armor. For example, say they're doing a parkour or something like the aqueducts over there. And they fall off a bunch of times and they need some feather falling boots to be able to, survive a little bit longer and not have to restart. Something like that, right? As levels advance and things kind of happen, I'm going to have to balance this out a little bit and make sure that I got the right things in here and whatnot and the right prices and everything. But I think the idea is there and I do need to still decorate this a little bit. So anyways, this is the second level. Yeah, I need to do the interior still, obviously, but I got to get all the perks and stuff in here anyways, so it might be pretty simple. They come up. It's still kind of cool even without much decoration in here. Put a couple paintings, maybe some other stuff in here. I don't know. I want it to be easy for players to kind of walk in, grab what they need, and head out, so it doesn't need to be super crazy. Up here, also pretty cool. Another purpose of this building, I think, hopefully, eventually, is going to be that you're going to be able to kind of look out over a couple of the levels out here. We're going to get through level 2 so that we can get over to level 3, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, maybe it'll give you some tips, some tricks. I wonder if I could do some things where it's like, hey, you got to come up here to like see something. Honestly, one of my more interesting builds, weirder maybe would be the word. But I'm pretty happy with it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ones. And I don't regret it. I do not regret it. You'd think, something this crazy in like a sea of, realistic buildings and real life stuff, it might look kind of funny. And some of you might think that. That's okay, but I kind of wanted to have a little bit of something different in here, kind of mix it up a little bit. I think it looks pretty good. Last building on the block is this castle looking thing. And this one, let's get a little free cam. This one is more of like a gothic sort of style. I wanted to get a little bit more height on it, kind of vary the heights a little bit throughout some of these buildings. And I really like how this one turned out as well. I actually had something else in this spot. It looked almost like a residential house, but it was like about the same height. And it just didn't really fit with the kind of the style that I was going here. And the scale was a little bit off. And so I tore that down and I built this, and I like this a lot better. So the reason that I went, kind of gothic with this one, or medieval, if you will, is because that is going to play into what's going on in the next level. Little spoiler right there. It's going to be related, at least, to Gothic architecture and medieval times. So it's going to be a little bit of a change of style. The purpose of this building, and I have done the interior on this one actually, believe it or not, is for more storage. Honestly, extra item storage. I put on a sign right there. This is going to be like I said, I don't know how much storage players are going to need. Maybe they never need to come in here, but I think it's valuable to at least have that option so that players can acquire a little bit more storage within the game, since they're not allowed to take their items in and out of the game. They have places to put things. The thing about this one, though, is that I don't think I'm going to let players unlock this until they have completed either level 1 or level 2. I haven't decided yet. Probably level 2. I want them to have to work for this building a little bit at the end of level 2, or maybe there's a specific challenge within level 2 that unlocks this building for them. Then they're going to be able to throw in like a key card or something into probably a barrel I'll put right here, and that's going to open this up for them. And then obviously it's going to return the key card on the other side. But let's just break the door for now, because it is technically locked so that people can't get in here until they have their card. But if we come on inside, this is what it looks like in here. I'm going to have players' names on each of these signs. So there'll be one barrel for each player. I'll have little instructions right here so everybody knows, like, hey, you only get one barrel. Hold on, I got to go take care of it. Did you see that? What What are you doing? Get the hell out of here. Ugh, pedestrians, man. I gotta... Oh, I've been experimenting too with putting some iron golems around here for security, for journey security. Hopefully they'll be able to kind of take care of these guys when they show up, because they show up all the time. But yeah, I'll have players' names on all these signs, and everyone's gonna have one barrel where they can keep their stuff. I'll just also rely on the honor system here, like, you know, don't take somebody else's barrel. Obviously, you get one barrel, and then otherwise you're gonna have to buy like an apartment, or maybe there'll be some other housing options where you can kind of store your items and whatnot within the game. And there's a second level up here, and there's just about enough for all the players we have on the server in here. If there's ever any issues, I can always add some more, but I doubt that every single player is going to be having to use this. It's good. I think it's going to help balance things out a little bit, and I like how it turned out. But yeah, guys, that is this block all complete. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think it turned out really well. Obviously, we're going to be doing some more, you know, decorating. We probably put some trees and bushes around here. This might end up just being a little park or a garden right there. And obviously, there's going to be walls all along here, so this is going to be a little bit more boxed in. But I think it kind of adds to the feel, the vibe as you're kind of walking through here. Like, you feel like you're in a city of some kind, which I think is pretty cool. And that's kind of the whole aspect of this entire game, is like different cities throughout, you know, civilization, basically. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I think it's looking great. That is the main thing that I wanted to do today, and I am going to keep working on getting the horses ready. I'm going to stock up the shop and get all the names put in here. That is all stuff that's going to have to happen in another episode, but we do have a couple other things that I want to do today. So let's head over real quick. While we're over here, we're going to head over and we are going to work on the aqueduct reward system a little bit. So let me get a little bit of redstone in over here, and then we'll come back and I'll show you guys what's going on with the aqueduct and how that works. And then I think we're going to head over to the shopping district and fill up the gold shop and make sure that's ready for people to buy. I want to touch base with Justiman and make sure that he's cool with the prices and all that stuff, and we'll get that in there and ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to go do that, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back, and I got something to show you guys. And we're going to take a quick look at how this thing works. If you remember correctly, from a couple episodes ago, you need 3 relics to get through level 1. And this is where you're going to get that first relic. So you're going to have to, you know, play some challenges, get some coins, and then once you get enough, you'll be able to unlock, you'll get like a key, and then you'll be able to bring that over here to enter this challenge. So the entrance to this is just located right above the theater over here, and we'll just come up and we go inside. I'm going to probably spruce this up a little bit more, but I got a general idea of what it's going to look like in here. And you come up, you come in here, there'll be like some rules right here. And then basically all you're going to have to do is run over this pressure plate, and that's going to start the game. So if we do a quick example, this is what it's going to kind of look like. So they run over the pressure plate, they start running. This light's going to turn on, telling the player that the game has started. And then if we go into free cam here real quick, all the way over here at the end of the aqueduct, right under where you fall down at the very end, there's a clock, and that clock is going to start. It already started right here. And once this clock runs out, that's when the game's over. And the player basically has to make it to the end of the aqueduct before the game's over. Now, I don't want this to be super hard, and I'm also probably going to give them a couple, maybe 3 keys or something per purchase of this. Or it'll just be like a cheap, pretty easy one to get. But yep, you can see, so you know, as of now, that's how long I have it set as. I still have to do a little bit of testing to see how long it really is going to take for someone to get through this whole thing. Maybe I'll have some other people come test it as well, just to kind of get a good idea, good gauge of what's a good time to have people need to, you know, beat to be able to make it. So that's going to be the first one. This is literally the very first quest in the entire game. So I don't want it to be like super, super hard, right? It's got to be pretty easy. Everyone should be able to do it. Obviously, you know, people can race on here. They can have some fun, whatever. You know, if they feel like they want to challenge themselves or something like that. But I don't want it to be super hard. Just kind of a fun little start to the game. Get you, you know, your first relic. Get some of those good feelings rolling. And then they can move on. So that's how that one. Whoa. Wrong button. So now that we made a little bit of progress over here, we're going to head over to the shopping district and get that gold shop stocked up. So let's go get that ready so that we can start making a little bit of money out of that thing.
Things that we need to sell.
All right. Lay it out. Who?
Gravel.
Gravel.
Soul sand.
Obsidian. Fire charges.
Drying obsidian. Fire charges.
Leather. Arrows. Or spectral arrows. Blackstone.
Blackstone.
Gold.
Yep.
String.
String.
And probably nether bricks. Okay. All right,
So
what's the bottom floor?
First level, gold, leather, and gravel.
All right, gold. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Are we selling by the bar, by the block?
I think by the block is gonna be better.
Okay.
It's
Butter.
gonna seem more official. Butter.
It's gonna be better.
52 divided by 8 is like 6.
Bro,
6 and a
9.
half.
8 times 9 is. Oh yeah, 72.
8 times 6, so
So I mean,
48 gold for 8 blocks.
no, for 8 blocks, it's
8 blocks is
72.
40. Dude, 8 times 9.
It's 72.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
What? Why did I do? What? I did 8 times
Bro.
6. Why did I do 8 times 6?
I was
What
like,
am I doing?
I don't know, bro. I am not
Hold
that
on,
bad
hold
at
on.
math, bro.
Hold on. Let's do.
We're doing
Let's
8s.
do-
8s per diamond.
Okay. Now here's where I'm gonna. Here. Ready? Need
Yes.
you to see this. Okay. Here's where all of our gold is going.
Don't worry, I'll cut this out of the video.
Nobody on the video is gonna. I just don't care.
I'm definitely not cutting it out. Can we put our diamonds in there too?
Oh, that we get from selling stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
we need more
Wink.
barrels.
Wink.
I think we do 1 diamond for 2 stacks of gravel.
Okay, fine. 1 for 2 stacks.
More. How many more? Oh, nice.
What do we think?
Okay.
10?
More.
10 obsidian for a diamond, 1 portal.
Yeah.
Starang. Okay.
How did I just get 16 birch trapdoors? Where did those come from?
That is so random, bro. I have no idea.
Dude, take your damn birch trapdoors back.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how that could happen. That's crazy, bro.
Dude.
I need to get one that's not one of these books, because these things don't grow on trees.
Um,
Oh, shit. Bro, we're going to be raking in the cash.
no, we're not. Nobody's gonna buy from this place, dude. Dude, gravel might be our best profit. Like,
What, gravel? Yeah, that might be the
yes,
only
we
thing
might
that we
get the
ever
most.
sell. Experience and anvil sold separately. How about 8?
8 diamonds for a
All right, that block. Oh, brother. Joke's on
Gotcha,
you.
big
I got
ass.
fire resistance. Burn. Well, we got a lot done today. We did a little bit of work here in the shopping district. We went over and we put those new buildings on the 2nd block in Journey. And we also did a little bit of work on the aqueduct. So I'm feeling pretty good about how this episode went. Let me know how you guys feel, how it went. And that's going to be it for me today. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I just want to say thank you for watching once again. So with that, everybody, take care, have some fun, and I'll see y'all next time.